Imagine this. You're in a bustling office, part of a high-stakes team, brainstorming the next big campaign. The energy is electric. Ideas fly like sparks, yet deep down you feel the subtle, invisible pull to hold back, to let someone else carry the weight. You're not lazy. You're not unmotivated. You're simply human. And what you're experiencing is one of the most insidious, well-documented phenomena in social psychology: social loafing. It's the silent saboteur of group performance. The reason why team effort often translates to someone else's effort, and it lurks in boardrooms, classrooms, sports fields, and even volunteer drives across every culture on Earth. In a world obsessed with collaboration, this psychological glitch explains why our collective potential so often falls tragically short, and why understanding it might just be the key to unlocking untapped human excellence. At its core, social loafing is the tendency for individuals to reduce their effort when working in a group compared to when they work alone. The term was coined in the late 1970s by psychologists Bibliotek McKipling, Williams, and Stephen Harkins, but its roots stretch back to 1913, when French engineer Max Ringelmann made a startling discovery. In his classic rope-pulling experiments, he found that 8 men pulling together exerted only about 37% of the force they produced individually. The larger the group, the greater the drop. It wasn't physical fatigue, it was psychological. When personal contribution becomes untraceable in the crowd, effort evaporates. Decades of research have since confirmed this across cultures, from American college students, to Japanese factory workers, to Indian village. Collectives are revealing a universal truth about human nature. We are wired to conserve energy when accountability diffuses. But why does this happen? The answer lies in 3 powerful psychological mechanisms. First, diffusion of responsibility. In a group, the sense that someone else will handle it spreads like ink in water. No single person feels the full weight of failure or success, so the internal pressure to perform dissolves. Second, evaluation apprehension fades. When your output is blended into the group's, the fear of judgment or the thrill of praise. Why sprint if no one can see you crossing the finish line? Third, and perhaps most damning, is the freerider effect. The rationale, if unconscious, calculation that you can coast on others' hard work without consequence. This isn't malice. It's an evolutionary hangover. For most of human history, survival depended on tribes, not solo heroes. Conserving personal resources in a group made perfect sense, since until modern organizations demanded peak collective output, the consequences ripple far beyond the lab. In workplaces, social loafing silently drains billions in lost productivity every year. Think of the corporate strategy session where half the room checks emails while the other half carries the load. Or the university group project where one student submits a masterpiece while 3 others add their names at the end. Sports teams suffer too. The quiet quitting athlete who jogs through practice knowing the coach's eyes are elsewhere. Even in humanitarian crisis disaster relief efforts, charity fundraisers, the phenomenon rears its head. Research from meta-analyses spanning 80 years shows that social loafing intensifies with group size, task complexity, and cultural individualism. In collectivist societies like those in South Asia or East Asia, it may be slightly muted by social harmony norms, yet it persists. Globally optimized teams, from Silicon Valley startups to multinational NGOs, ignore it at their peril. Yet social loafing is not inevitable. Psychology offers proven antidotes that transform groups from loafing collectives into high-performance machines. The first is making individual contributions identifiable. When Ringelmann's rope pullers wore blindfolds and could no longer tell if others were pulling, effort plummeted further, but when they believed their output was being measured separately, it surged. Translate this to the modern world: clear metrics, public dashboards, peer accountability systems. The second antidote is fostering task. People loaf less when the work feels personally significant, when they believe their slice of the pie genuinely matters to the whole. Leaders who articulate a compelling why/social loafing by up to 50% in controlled studies. Third, reduce group size strategically. Smaller teams, ideally 5 to 7 members, preserve visibility and ownership. Fourth, build group cohesion through shared identity and trust. When members feel emotionally invested in one another, the desire to let the team down overrides the urge to slack. And finally, the nuclear option: selective incentives. Reward individual excellence without punishing the collective. Performance contingent bonuses, spotlight recognition, and real-time feedback loops have been shown in field experiments across continents to nearly eliminate the effect. Consider the real-world triumph of these principles. Google's Project Aristotle, one of the largest studies of team effectiveness ever conducted, found that the highest performing teams weren't the ones with the smartest people, they were the ones with psychological safety, where every voice felt heard and every contribution visible. In contrast, countless failed mergers and collapsed startups trace their downfall to unchecked social loafing, even in education. Flipped classrooms and peer evaluation rubrics have dramatically reduced loafing by restoring individual stakes. The message is clear. Human psychology isn't destiny. It's a blueprint we can hack. In the end, social loafing isn't a flaw to be ashamed of, it's a feature of our social brains. A relic of evolutionary efficiency that once kept tribes alive. But in today's hyper-connected high-stakes world, it has become the invisible tax on human potential. The impressive truth is that once we name it, we neutralize it. The next time you feel that subtle tug to hold back in a group, pause, recognize the psychology at play, then choose differently. Because the groups that master this single concept, the ones that turn loafers into lions, don't just outperform. They redefine what's possible when human beings truly pull together. And in a world desperate for collective breakthroughs, from climate solutions to technological revolutions, that understanding may be the most powerful psychological tool we have. The rope is in your hands. Will you pull alone, or will you make sure every hand on it is giving everything it's got? The choice, as always, begins with awareness.